So now you've created your company. The next training video we're going to show you is how to create a job. So now you've decided, you've got your headcount approved and you want to post the job out in the market. Obviously, the places that you would want to post the Searchie interview is either on your LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a fantastic feature where you can direct candidates once they've applied for the job directly to a third-party page, which will direct them to the Searchie platform, and the candidates can then simply click on the apply button and do the interview. You can post it on a job board. You can simply email the link to everybody and invite them to do the interview, or a careers page for that matter. But in order to do that, we need to create the job. So I'm going to show you today how easy it is to create the job. So let's go ahead and create the job on the page. So you can see now we are on the Searchie page. So to create the job is as simple as clicking on create the job button there. As you can see here, you can see Searchie will take you through the various steps. So it's very user-friendly from a drop-down menu. You can simply follow the steps and it should be pretty user-friendly. I'd like to give you some tips in terms of choosing what to choose and when to choose and why to choose it. So for this particular role, we are looking for a marketing manager. The location for this particular job is going to be in Singapore. In terms of our regional experience, we would like somebody with 3 to 5 years experience. Their availability, we will wait for the right candidate in this particular example. The offer deadline, as soon as in this case, you can choose, we'll either offer immediately, we'll offer 1 to 2 months, we'll offer 2 to 3 months, or unspecified. I think the best is to really be realistic so that you don't offer candidates something that you can't deliver on. So we will offer as soon as we find the right candidate. We are, in this case, looking for one person. Of course, if you're looking for more than one person, add that. If you would like to show the salary to the candidates, then use the tick box that will then show the salary to the candidates. If not, please don't tick the box, leave it open. The salary frequency, so in this case, you can obviously choose hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, depending on how you are prepared to show the salary to the people. And in this case, we will use US dollars, and we're going to pay a salary range of $5,000 to $10,000 for this particular example. And then you can choose other package details. So you may have medical insurance, accommodation allowance, and some family benefits for this particular job. And then you want to keep the salary details confidential, so don't forget to click keep salary details confidential. And you would then click save and continue to the next step. So the job function for this particular role would be marketing. How many years experience for the particular job, not just regional. So this is how much experience would you like them to have in total. So of course it's going to be slightly more in this instance. The education, so we would need a graduate. And then skills would be important. Please, it's very important to notice the skills that you put down are extremely important, because when the candidate applies to do the job, you're going to ask them to verify, first of all, do they have the skill? And second of all, how many years experience do they have in a specific job? That will affect the score of the candidate. So when you put the skills, it's not just about them saying, yes, I have the skills. We will be able to score them, and their score will depend on whether they have the skills necessary to do the job and do they have the experience. So please make sure you use the correct skills that you need for this job. And we want branding experience for this job. We want pipeline generation for this job. We want lead generation as well. We want lead management. We also want events planning. We want marketing, budgeting experience as well, and that should be enough. Of course, if you have more, please feel free to add more. The more, the better. For this particular job, we just need English, which is good enough. Okay, the role type, so it could be part-time or full-time. In this particular case, it's full-time. And they will, in this case, manage a small team, less than 1 people. The job description, please go ahead and drag and drop your job description that you have from your HR platform. You can basically use that from somewhere that you posted it or from a previous job description. So I'm just going to keep it short for the case, for the use case and for the training, but of course for the real life example, please go ahead and make sure you put a detailed job description in this place. Okay, and then we would click save and continue to the next step. So now we're going to choose the questions. Searchie has the first few questions. We have 5 standard questions. These are behavioral type questions that we will ask the candidate. So these are the first 5 questions that will be asked during the interview process. You will then get to add additional questions. Please don't use behavioral or generic type questions for the interview. We suggest and strongly suggest that you use these questions wisely. Use them to test skills. The candidate must be able to answer the questions to be able to perform the job function. If they can't, then don't call them in for the face-to-face interview, because remember, this is a validation and a guideline. It's not your decision or your final decision to hire the person. So use it wisely as if it was face-to-face. Also use it for testing or asking about experience. So for example, in this use case, we needed 1 to 3 years experience in Singapore. Please, can you tell me about previous experience you have in marketing in the Singapore region, or maybe it's greater Asia Pacific region, and which companies did you work for? Maybe another question is, can you please explain to me which events you took part in Singapore, and which events were they, and how much success did you have in the greater Singapore or APAC region? So be very specific around that. So to add new questions, you just click add new question, and then we're going to ask, please can you let us know about your marketing experience in the Singapore region, and who did you work for? So there I have added that question. I can add another question. So you must create a minimum of 3 questions, please. Which events did you use to plan your lead generation in Singapore? Okay, and then we'll add another question. How much experience do you have in the APAC region out of Singapore? Let's get some spelling corrections there. And that's it. You can add another 2 questions, so a minimum of 3 questions. If you want to add another question, that's fine. Go ahead and add another 2 questions. Absolutely no problem. But in this case, we're now done. So we click save and continue to the next step. So now we want to start selecting our personalities and values. We're going to be very specific here. We're going to ask you to choose from a drop-down menu. So we really now are molding the type of person that we want to perform the specific job function. The key benefits of Searchie, and unlike any other vendor available today, is we allow you to select what competencies, what personalities and values you're looking for, as well as obviously the culture, which we've already explained to you early on in the training videos. So we want you to choose one. There will be potentially sometimes 1 or 2 that you could choose from. We want you to be very specific around what kind of personality you're looking for. So under working relationships, so for example, under communication, am I looking for someone who's influential, directive, or upfront? So let's read through them. And this is a marketing position. So commanders like to be in charge of others. They take the lead and strive for control. Persuaders like to change people's minds. They enjoy activities such as selling, debating, and negotiation. And communicators are talkative by nature, and they openly express their viewpoints and opinions. So please go ahead and choose which specific one you want. And as you can see, it will then be selected. And we're going to do the same all the way down for thinking styles and the emotional life. So under sociability, are we looking for someone who's sociable, friendly, and formal? So connectors enjoy interacting with many different people and enjoy being part of the crowd. Harmonizers enjoy close relationships and appreciate teamwork. Presenters feel at ease in formal situations and enjoy talking to large groups of people. Again, I think it's very important to choose someone that you feel is important for this specific role. And then under empathy, am I looking for someone who's modest, cooperative, and sensitive? I'm not going to read all the examples. Of course, when you do the job creation, you would want to spend time going through that. So I'm just quickly going to choose some. So under analysis, do I want someone with data fluency who's reflective or behavioral? Under creativity, am I looking for someone who's conventional, conceptual, or innovative? And under organization, do I want someone who's strategic, detail-orientated, conscientiousness, or rule-abiding? Under emotional life, so this is quite funny. You would generally want to be able to take a couple of these, but do I want someone who's relaxed, confident, tough, optimistic, trusting, or emotionally intelligent? I will choose emotionally intelligent for this example. And under motivations, do I want someone who's active, competitive, achieving, or decisive? So we will choose achieving. Again, I have just used for the training purposes some examples, but please read the descriptions on each one and be very specific around the type of personality that you're looking for. So now you have the ability to add the team culture. And if you want to do that, so you would just choose from your team. So we've only set up the Cape Town marketing team, and then you would go ahead and select adventurousness again, like we did on the company setup. So how adventurousness is our organization. So I'll score it on a 3 there. In terms of artistic and innovative is another way to put it. I will put that as 4. Emotional, I'll put that as 0. Imagination, it's marketing, so I think it's either 4 or 5. Again, please, this is just the example for the training. I'll leave that up to you. So intellect is 3. Challenger, we would put at 4. Conscientiousness at 4. Achievement, striving at 3. Cautiousness, we don't want them to be cautious in marketing. We want them to think out the box. In my use case, of course, please, again, this is about your organization and what you're looking for. Dutifulness is important, and orderliness is there. So then you click save and continue to the next step. Now we're going to choose the competencies. So you can see in front of you 20 different competencies. These are the things that we're going to pick up from the touch points. So you will remember potentially during your demo or during your discovery phase that Searchie, when video interviewing the people, is going to pick up certain traits. The things that we're going to look for, the touch points, are the microfacial expressions, the tone and the pitch of the voice, as well as the body language. From those touch points, we're going to be able to pick up what we've just chosen, which is the personality traits as well as the competencies. So we want to choose, you can see we recommend anywhere from 5 to 8 different competencies. So you can stick to that. Of course, if you want to choose 3 competencies, that's more than okay. If you want to choose more than 3 competencies, if you want to choose 12 or 14, that's also okay. I want to point out that what we're looking for in the competencies are people's natural abilities at these specific things. It doesn't mean that the person is not trainable. We can't train the people to make them improve on these things, or potentially they've already been trained and can be approved. So for this use case, it's a marketing person. So we want them to have creative thinking. They must be good at customer service. They must have integrity. Not must, we are choosing. Please, let me correct myself. For our specific use case, because they are going to lead people. They must be good at presenting, persuasion, and networking with people. And we want them to have teamwork. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see I've chosen 8. I could choose less and I could choose more, as I've shown you. So save and continue. So if you want the detailed or the detailed candidate insights reports enabled, so in this use case it is, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to disable it, simply click disabled, and in this case we'll continue because we want the detailed report. Afterwards, we then click save and continue to the next step. So please put your details in here. Of course, I'm not going to put all my details in there because I don't want to put all my bank details in there in the training video. But as you can see, please put all your details, the address and everything there. You can then choose how many video interviews you want and packages. Please remember, you're not limited to the amount of packages that you want. So if you want to buy more, that's fine. Go ahead and buy more. And then you can, it will give you the value and you will click finish to the payment and it will guide you through the payment. In this use case, I'm not going to continue to the payment. I'm simply going to click save and pay later. So I then have the ability to come back at any point and finish that. And that is where we're going to stop the training video. It should give you a very good example and training on how to create the job. So thank you very much for joining us and we look forward to seeing you in our next training video.